Hi, I'm Aria, and at 29 years old, I have learned a very valuable life lesson in my almost 29 years of existence that people can change, often in ways we least expect. This lesson hit home with my husband, Dalton. I first crossed paths with Dalton through my dad, who happens to own a financial advising firm. At the age of 24, fresh out of the New York School of Visual Arts, I decided to turn to my hometown. Dalton was working temporarily at my dad's office, and as I made my frequent visits there, we struck up conversations and became friends. Dalton once asked me out for coffee, and honestly, I could not resist his charm. The first date went perfectly. He was a goofy and adorable guy, always managing to bring a smile to my face. He had this fun, carefree attitude that I found refreshing, especially since life can get pretty serious sometimes. I had big plans to study abroad and expand my horizons. Europe, with its incredible art scene, had always been a dream destination for me. But as they say, life had different plans for you in store. Dalton felt like he was just what I needed in life. After dating for 2 years, we decided to take the plunge and get married. Following that, Dalton secured a permanent position with my dad's firm. I am an artist, and while it is my passion, it does not exactly pay the bills. What was remarkable about Dalton was that he never pressured me to work outside of my art. He had always respected my choices, and we had a solid understanding. We had a pretty good routine going on. Dalton also had a good relationship with my parents and my brother Luke. We used to hang out a lot, either inviting them for dinner or going over to their place. He also used to say he looked up to my dad for building a successful career and being a great dad at the same time. Dalton was not really tight with his parents. For some reason, he never told me much about them. He would just mention how he felt overlooked while growing up. But a couple of months ago, things took an unexpected turn when Dalton got home from work one evening.
Aria, you will not believe the freaking crap that went down today.
Seriously? What the heck happened?
Your dad, he went and fired me.
What? Why would he do something like that? Tell me everything, love.
It was like a damn circus, Aria. Everyone had their eyes on me. He hauls me into his office this morning and starts ranting about some messed up deal. Oh, and you know him, always acting like he's Mr. Perfect. He seemed pissed off over a small mistake. Total nonsense, if you ask me. He humiliated me in front of everyone.
Hey, as much as it sucks, do not forget that it is my dad you're talking about. Babe, I get that you are angry, but let's just calm down. Maybe he made a mistake. I'll call him tomorrow and try to sort things out. What do you say?
You're right, Aria. I'm just frustrated. If you think talking to him could help, I guess it's worth a shot.
I'd never seen this side of Dalton before. He just seemed so frustrated and angry at my dad. I did not want the situation to escalate, so I decided to make the call to my dad the next day. Dalton was away at the gym in the morning, so I found a quiet moment. Hey, Dad.
Hi, honey, I was expecting your call. Seems like Dalton told you what happened last night.
Dalton was pretty upset last night. Why did you fire him? What was it all about?
Oh, honey, you do not know the whole story. It was not just about last night. This was the 3rd time a client stormed into our office, blaming our entire team for an error in his investment portfolio, an error only Dalton was responsible for. The client suffered a significant loss, and he even threatened to take legal action against the firm right in front of everyone.
Wow, that sounds serious. But it must have been an honest mistake, right?
Yes, it was, honey, but the thing is, this was the 3rd time this has happened, and it was Dalton's fault all 3 times. Everyone in the office knows that Dalton is my son-in-law. I've given him so many chances, but after the recent incidents, people started talking, saying I was not being fair to the team. You know, the kind of image and workplace environment that creates.
I see where you're coming from, Dad.
I was angry and I lashed out at him. I'm sorry for that, but as much as I consider Dalton a part of our family, I'm sorry to say he can't be a part of the firm anymore.
Okay, Dad. Maybe I can talk to him and help him understand the situation better. Have a nice day.
You too, sweetheart.
I got how tough it was for my dad as the boss, and I tried my best to help Dalton see the deal. I tried to explain how my dad had certain responsibilities, but Dalton did not handle it well at all. His whole attitude took a major hit, like he was kind of mad at my family. It became super obvious when my mum invited us for dinner the following Sunday, and Dalton straight up refused to go. I had to come up with excuses, but my family was not buying it. It was obvious.
So, he is still holding a grudge against me, huh?
Yes, Dad. I know him, and he tends to harbour resentment for a long time.
Darling, the most I can do is put in a good word for him.
Thank you, Dad, but it seemed like he lacks the motivation to take action. He's being so casual about his own fault and is blaming you.
To be frank, Aria, that individual's performance at work is quite average. He cares about you and all, but he never puts in the necessary effort for the position. I'm not suggesting he lacks potential, but he consistently avoids hard work. That guy needs some seriousness in life.
Well, he is facing the consequences, and even though I should not admit it, you made the right decision. So I had a chat with my folks about Dalton's behaviour, and they advised me it might be better to just give him some space. I figured maybe if he landed a new job, things would turn around, but surprise, surprise, things did not go as I hoped they would. Dalton just seemed to give up when it came to searching for a new job. He was hitting the gym for half the day and spending the other half glued to video games. Whenever I asked if he had applied for jobs, it was the same old story.
I'll get to it tomorrow.
But it was not just that. I felt like he enjoyed being at home. Over time, he also became rude to me, and our relationship suffered. As the days went by, dealing with him got more and more challenging. It was Dalton's birthday in a week, and despite the tensions between us, I wanted to make things right and lift his spirits. He'd been feeling down ever since losing his job, and I thought maybe he was going through a rough time, possibly dealing with boredom at home. I knew it was a lot to ask for, but I decided to reach out to my brother for help. My brother was quite successful himself, working in the management business with a chain of international hotels under his belt. I asked him if he could meet me in the park to discuss a possible job opportunity for Dalton. I knew it was a big ask, but it was worth a shot. Hey Luke, how have you been?
Good as always, and you? Are things better at home with Dalton?
Well, I called you here because I want to talk about that.
You're asking me for relationship advice? I'm 35 and single, sis. I might not be the best person for that.
True. But you're still quite the charmer with the ladies, aren't you?
Charmers do not always get very far. Anyway, what's on your mind?
Well, I have a big favour to ask, but please, there is absolutely no pressure if you can't do it.
Go ahead, sis. What is the favour?
Can you offer Dalton a job? I know it is a lot to ask, but your business is vast and I'm sure there must be a suitable position open. I know Dalton has not been careful, but maybe he could use another chance.
Funny you mention it. There is a job opening in Dublin at a hotel I have partnered with. It is for basic management work and housing is free. I'm sure Dalton will be able to do it.
Really? It does not have to be anything extravagant. Dublin sounds nice, but something here would be just fine.
Aria, you are my sister, and Dalton, despite being a jerk sometimes, is my brother-in-law. You love him and I want to see you happy. Remember how you always talked about leaving the States and moving out? It was just a far-fetched dream. It's not too late. You're an artist after all. You should explore more of this beautiful world we live in, draw some inspiration. Would you really do that for me?
Of course I would. You're the best. I love you, Luke.
I love you too. How about I draft an offer letter before Dalton's birthday?
Sounds perfect. I was incredibly touched by what Luke had agreed to do for me, and I could not have been happier. I knew this job opportunity could be a game changer for Dalton and me, opening up new possibilities and changing our lives for the better. I was bursting with excitement. To make Dalton's special day perfect, I suggested we stay in for his birthday. Lately, Dalton had become a bit of a homebody, so he did not mind the idea at all. I was determined to surprise him in private, creating a memorable day just for us. The day before Dalton's birthday, Luke handed me the offer letter, and I could not thank him enough for this incredible gesture. On Dalton's big day, I started by serving him breakfast in bed and his favourite Nutella pancakes. Then we went about our regular routine until the evening. In the evening, I baked him a cake and ordered his favourite meal from a restaurant. I transformed our room with scented candles and balloons while Dalton was at the gym. When he returned, I surprised him with the whole setup, but he did not seem excited. His reaction was more like, "Whatever." Little did he know what I had in store for him next. "Well, how about I bring out the cake, you blow out the candles, and I will get us some wine before dinner?"
"Sure, but make it quick."
"Oh, do you have plans later or something?" "By the way, I have a little something for you. It was my idea, but this envelope is from Luke." His phone beeped and he got a text.
"Sorry, but my friend Max and I are going for drinks at the bar. I need to head out."
"But you really should see this."
"Yeah, whatever. Just leave it on the table. I'll be back late. You can go to sleep."
I followed his instructions, even though I was hurt by his decision to bail on the dinner and not appreciate everything I had done for him. It was his birthday, so I decided not to confront him about it and let him do as he pleased. I did not give up, staying up late waiting for Dalton, but eventually I fell asleep around 1 a.m. I woke up at 7 to the noise of Dalton packing a bag. What are you packing a bag for?
"Max and I planned an impromptu trip to Florida to see a friend. I'll be back in a couple of days."
It's like, 7 in the morning? This is a very sudden plan. When did you even get home?
"I don't have time for this now. I have to go."
As Dalton left, I got out of bed, started my day, cleaned the house, and I could not help but think that this is what an unemployed man does. I realized that the envelope I had left on the table was missing, and I thought that Dalton had already seen it. There was a glimmer of hope. As I entered my art room in the afternoon, I was met with a devastating sight. Handprints covered all of my paintings, and my art supplies were scattered and destroyed all over the place. Shock coursed through me as I wondered who could have done such a thing, and the only person that came to mind was Dalton. I could not hold back the tears. I was not just hurt, but furious. He had destroyed everything that meant the world to me, and he knew how important it was. Yet he did it anyway. What I discovered next was even worse. While cleaning the art room, I found the letter I had given him, still sealed in an envelope, discarded in the trash box. I had tried desperately to get in touch with Dalton, bombarding him with calls and texts, asking him to come home as soon as possible. As expected, he didn't respond to any of them. However, in the evening, he unexpectedly showed up at the door. "Florida, huh? You got back real soon?"
"Well, I lied. I decided to crash at Max's place for a couple of days."
"Why? To hide away from me after what you've done? What's gotten into you?"
"It just happened, okay?"
"You know how much it meant to me. Are you possessed or something? I've never seen this side of you. I never thought you could hurt me like this."
"What about the hurt you have caused me?"
"What do you even mean?"
"Do you think I enjoy this, depending on you for a couple $100?
I get it. Times are tough, but my art was bringing in something, even if it's just for groceries, and we were covering the mortgage with my savings. I did not mind. I gave you all the time to hunt for jobs until we ran out of my savings."
"Why are you always on my case about finding a job? Look at you. Never worked in a day in your life, and yet you keep lecturing me about work. Your art does not sell for squat. You make $1 once in a blue moon with those art projects. Even a kid could paint better."
"I can't believe you're saying this."
"You're my wife, and you're still hanging out with your dad like he did not humiliate me in front of everyone and fire me. Your dad just acts like a Mr. Know-it-all, sashaying his way into the office thinking he's the man. Your brother always has his smug face on, and you are nothing but a pampered princess."
"I never knew that this is what you thought about me and my family."
"Call it what you want."
"He's my dad, Dalton, and I get it. It was not fair. I've tried my best to make things right. I understand losing a job can be tough, but this... You are an adult, Dalton, so it is time you start acting like one. I've tried so hard. I tried to make your birthday special, but you just bailed out on me and hang out with your friends. You did not even open my gift. I went to my brother asking him for a favour to get you a decent job, and you put the envelope in the trash can.
A silly letter from your brother will not cut it. He's probably going to ask me to wait tables at those crappy hotels he's worked for. Probably doesn't respect me, just like his father doesn't.
You think so little of my family, don't you? You've no idea how much they love you. Well, my brother...
What do you mean?
In the envelope was a job offer letter for a position in Amsterdam, something in hotel management. It was a luxury hotel he partnered with, and it came with free residence and a good salary.
Amsterdam? Hotel management? Free residence and a good salary? Why didn't you tell me about this earlier?
I wanted it to be a surprise for your birthday. To make things better between us. I thought this job could have changed everything for us. Dalton ran to the trash can and began rummaging through it, desperately searching for the discarded envelope that held a job offer letter.
Where is it? Where is it?
Look at you, digging through the trash like a raccoon. Don't worry about it, Dalton. You will not find it.
Why not?
I tore it into two, and I told my brother the deal was off. You did not want the job.
Why would you do that?
Because you don't deserve any of this, especially after what you've done. You're on your own now. I'm going to stay with my parents for a while.
I'm sorry, Aria. Please give me a second chance to make things right.
No, Dalton. You don't respect my family. You ruined something I value deeply, and you expect me to forgive you. You did not make any effort when I asked you to apply for jobs. Seems like you want everything served to you on a silver platter. You were so bitter when my dad fired you. Disrespecting my family is just a deal breaker for me. Sorry. Honestly, Dalton has been trying to reach out to me, apologizing and still begging me to get him the job. What infuriated me the most, what he did not seem to care about me or apologizing for destroying 14 years of my artwork. He's so selfish. All he wants is for me to help him to get the job back. He even had the nerve to call me a pampered princess, and the things he said about my family, well, they were simply unacceptable. I admit that things come a bit easy to me because of my dad and Luke, but never meant that I had just stopped working on my career. I got left with a lot of questions, but honestly I don't give a damn what nobody thinks about me. After numerous discussions with my parents, I have decided to proceed with a divorce from Dalton. They are fully supportive of my decision. It seemed a little bit rushed, but when I made up my mind about something, there was no going back for me. I'm just built like that. There is another significant decision I have made. I am using my savings to move to Vienna. I've applied to the University of Vienna for their arts program because I have so much more to learn, and I want to be the best at my craft. It is time for a fresh beginning for me. Since I met Dalton, I hit the pause button on my dreams, but now it is all about hitting play. Dalton is on his own now. I've told him about the divorce. He's got a mortgage and no job, and he can't even cover his own groceries. Honestly, I don't care about him anymore. People say your 20s are your prime, but I believe your prime is what you make it. As I get closer to my 30s, I am dead set on making myself the best version I can be, and making this coming decade the best of my life.